This is a test ride of the Polestar 4, which is, for example, attacking the... Oh, hello. Said hello here with the blinking light. It's probably because I have the key in my pocket. So this one, for example, challenging the Porsche Macan EV, and the Polestar 4 sits price and size-wise between the Polestar 2 and the Polestar 3. 2, 4, 3? Yeah, to me it doesn't make sense, but their logic is, hey, let's go Apple style, iPhone 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on, just rising numbers. And here they also want to do the rising number game like the tech companies. So the new car just gets the higher number no matter which size it actually is. Doesn't make too much sense to me, honestly, but well, we are here to explain you all of that of the Polestar 4 with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. In the front, a very sleek design, very sporty, not so much SUV-alike, rather a crossover EV. In the front also we see here these daytime running lights with a very cool modern style. Split also, the main headlamp unit is in the lower part, and they look kind of a little bit alike like Volvo. And yes, we know the history is Polestar used to be this tuning brand of Volvo. Volvo bought them at some point, then they made their performance models or performance editions. Then they outsourced it to an own fully electric brand. But now recently Volvo got rid of the shares and the owner Geely takes over all these shares, and some interpreted that Polestar is maybe going bankrupt overall, but they are not done yet, they say, and the Geely owner company wants to keep it alive for now definitely, and they have come up with a lot of new models. We have to see definitely what the future brings. For example, here the Polestar 4 with a length of 4.84 meters or 191 inches. So as I said, between the 2 and the 3 size-wise, and comparable size-wise also to a Porsche Macan EV. Wheels 20 or option here 22 inch. These are the biggest ones. So also here the performance version. So there's the rear-wheel drive version, 7.1 seconds in the acceleration figure, or the all-wheel drive version, one electric motor in the rear, one in the front, then with 3.8 seconds in the acceleration figure. We also have this all-wheel drive performance version here for you today, and then it also gets an adaptive suspension, so we're going to test that here for you. Battery size 94 kilowatt hours net, so far always this version, so we see what kind of range we can get with that one. And charging is also pretty interesting, up to 22 kilowatt AC, so that's a very good figure, definitely not everyone has that, and up to 200 kilowatt DC charging, 10 to 80% in around 30 minutes. And the most obvious thing here in the rear is not only this red light bar here, it goes all the way through, that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? But then, yeah, here, this is what this car has been famous for in the static reveal already. It has no rear window. We have an extensive camera system up there. I'll also show you that, how it translates to the interior, because they wanted to create a new interior rear experience. We're soon going to test it for you if that plays out. But honestly, did you ask for this? I didn't, and no one else has. And I think that's always the thing. On the one hand, I found it cool when manufacturers did like their own thing, or when manufacturers are unique or something. But here again, why would anyone do no rear window? I don't get it. I think it's more a show effect, and it could be a major deal breaker for this vehicle. But let's not cancel this car just yet, because let's see if there is something special in the interior to come for us. But definitely a very interesting and unique approach they took there. And here there's Leah in the back camera, and now she will open the trunk for us, because that's so interesting. Look at that. And even when the trunk is opened, you can still see her. And like, why is that? There we see it. Here, when the trunk is opened, there's this slot, this small slot in between, and then it can look through. That's interesting when Leah closes the trunk again. Then you can see it once again looks over the boot. And here, by the way, also, because I talked about the charging flaps, charging stats, here the charging flap itself, when I press it here, it's probably because the car locked itself, but then I can also show you the key fob. There's still a key fob here. It has no real buttons or something, so it's just like a identifier, so to speak. So let me get then right here to the There we go. So these are the door handles. They are flush otherwise. Now when the car is open, this should also open. There we go. So this is then the electric charging flap. AC, DC, and you put your finger here, close again. This looks pretty reliable and also nicely and flushly integrated. You know, recently with the Audi Q6 e-tron, where this charging flap was like, takes ages and so on, so was not that cool. Heat pump, by the way, is standard, and the battery technology is NMC, just to let you know that. And is there a frunk? So we open that, and we have a second compartment here. Oh, ain't that cute? Yeah, there's a frunk, a tiny one, tiny one. Yeah, but always good to have one, therefore. And turning indicator check. That looks amazing, right? Both lower and upper, yeah, that gets the cool stamp. And the indicators here in the rear also very wide, a little bit hidden underneath the braking light, I would say, but still long and wide enough. Also pretty cool integration. So Leah was asking me about this sticker here, Polestar 4, 100 kilowatt hour, 400 kilowatt, and if that's on every Polestar, and yeah, it is actually. And Leah is also right that it doesn't look that good, honestly. And would you put this sticker on your vehicle, actually? 100 kilowatt hours, by the way, the gross figure, 94 than the net figure. Now we take a closer look here at these door handles. For example, I can swipe here and then they come towards me. So interesting thing. And then also gives you some kind of haptic feedback. Door closing sound is not too bad for frameless doors, honestly. So I mean, we've heard better sounds, but also way worse sounds, especially with cars with frameless doors. There are some very rare exceptions where cars have frameless doors and still have an awesome closing sound, and we also always mention that. Then inside of the doors, very nice use of the brighter materials here. Different stylings are available. Here it's somewhat soft touch, I would say. It's a high-grade leatherette also here. Then a fabric insert. Again, different stylings available. Just in the lower part, this is then rather a hard pack here. Harman Kardon sound system here. We have a high trim level, Polestar entry badge, recycling formats, soon more to that. And the steering wheel also, this interior is completely free of animal materials. Good approach, and they even replace oil by, for example, from the high-grade leatherette seats, from pine oil and recycling materials. And these seats here are the fabric seats. They are also 100% from recycling materials. So Polestar is really going full circle. They very early started with an approach, into sustainability, also reducing CO2 output, using recycling materials. They're not all animal free in their lineup. You can optionally get animal skin, but they have a strong focus, let's take it that way, on, for example, fabric and also high-grade leatherette seats. And material-wise, that works everything very well indeed. Here you can make that lower part a little bit longer, and there you can see, by the way, the high-grade leatherette. So the other version would be looking almost like this, but just the whole seat if you want something to wipe cleaner, easier. So the material choices are really nice here, I have to say. And steering wheel, well, you see, you cannot adjust anything here. This is then also going into the Tesla direction. Volvo is doing that now too, that you have to do it then from the screen. And I have to say, you have to learn the car a little bit. A lot of things are, you have to search for that as well. And then we have to see where it is, the interior, steering wheel, and then we can use these touchpads here to put the steering wheel higher, in and out. Here then I have to press here in there. There we see the steering wheel goes in. But it's almost, there is some kind of feedback, but sometimes you don't really know where to hit it. You know, like, why is it not reacting now? Might be due to pre-production vehicle, but might also be because it's not that well built in that respect. So the hashtag capacitive BS fields on that steering wheel are one of the worst I have experienced so far. I just hope for them that they can improve them somehow. So not a good feedback here. So I'm happy that I've set everything for once then, and then I'm more or less done. The seat control here, however, is still with these classic buttons. I really appreciate that I can just move that, and yeah, that's it. It's just so much easier to do that actually. I'm 189 or 6'2". Yeah, Leah is signaling me. I first thought she's doing it, blah blah blah. This car nerd guy is telling 10 minutes again about seats and everything. And now she want me to like check the check the headroom. Yeah, there we go. So with 189, 6'2", blue eyes. Well, not in finance though. I'm in automotive. But I hope you still take me anyway.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, so there's enough headroom left here. So yeah, plenty of space definitely. So it feels not like an SUV at all. Really feels more crossover-ish. It rather feels like a Polestar 2 with a little more space. One thing about space though, so I don't need my left foot because there's no clutch. But if you now look at this footwell here and my oversized shoes here, I don't fit with, so this limitation here. So my left foot doesn't really fit on the left side. And what was the size again? 13 in for US, 47.5 for Europe, 12 in UK. It's good that we have the Scala here, right? Yes, my feet are very, very large, so it might not be a problem for all drivers. But if you have long feet or big feet, big foot, yeah, then this is a problem on the left. Yeah, you have to put your feet somewhere, actually. Now that for over 10 years I've been doing car reviews now, I finally revealed my shoe size, so I have nothing to fear anymore. For example, the cockpit overview here of the Polestar 4. And first of all, here, nice materials also on the dashboard. That looks really cool. Living room atmosphere. Is there a glove box? Hello? Is there a glove box? There is no separate button yet, but this is once again also going in the Tesla direction. I can open it here from the infotainment system, and there's like a small glove box right here. And it also is nicely dampened. There we go. Then middle console. This looks really like very clean from the whole atmosphere. I still have a physical. Oh, that sounds nice. Look, let's hear that. Click, clack, clack. I love that. So this then the volume jog, also play pause button. Then a nice brushed aluminum style here, and you can slide it open for cup holders. They are also adaptive. And then here, yeah, this could be a little bit. Oh, that's really hard. I mean, the materials are cool, and also like really wrapped tight, like in the Porsche.
That's what he said.
That's what he said, yeah. Sorry about that. Good one, yeah. And then you can
Learn from the best.
yeah, learn from the best. Then you can open this one here. So I have to get serious again now. Sorry. 2 USB-C chargers, some space underneath. So indeed, it looks kind of Porsche-esque, I would say. Yeah, and they also modified against the Porsche Macan EV. And then a large screen here. 15.4 inch, more in the horizontal layout here now. The climate unit is here in the lower part, and we'll soon take a detailed look then at the screen for you and all the functionalities. The switch key is here on the right side, so that's classic, and also that we have turning indicators. You have to mention it nowadays that it's good that we have turning indicators. Leah and I were still fighting at home. No, we're never seriously fighting though, you know, I mean, fighting in a joyful way about the Tesla controls, because I would say like, no stalk columns, like what the hell? And she's like, yeah, why not? Let's go, you know, future, new things, why not? Yeah. I always appreciate when there is a real stalk column like they do have here now. Hello. The back mirror, of course, is completely useless because you can't see anything to the rear there anyway, and that's why you can directly switch over to the camera view. And then you also have this digital view to the rear. And what I also want to show you guys here, when I hit the turning indicator to the right or to the left, look at that, it jumps, the image jumps. And well, there is a reason behind it, because when I'm using the turning indicator here to the right, it jumps to the right, that you can more see what's going on the right, like something of a blind spot monitor feature. And when I'm hitting into the left, it goes in the other direction again. Yeah, I think it is well meant, but it's also in a way weird because it is irritating you. An inductive charging pad, deep in there in the front. However, yeah, I know what you're thinking. You filthy little. Yeah. I just wanted to feel if there's a cooling hole or not. I'm not getting out of this now, right? No, I'm not. Yeah, but we are here to learn about cars, but we are also here to have fun together, definitely. So there are no cooling holes in that hole there, so the phone will overheat. And yeah, I have been charging that phone here now for a while, and it's really hot, HWT. Yeah, but I'm always looking out for cooled inductive phone chargers. Here there's none. And not to forget, a huge space here underneath the middle console to put some things. Driver POV looks like this. Good size of the steering wheel. Then we have the digital instruments. You have a good overview here directly at startup. When you put in the drive gear, then you have it like that. But you can also switch through some things, so different views in, for example, also the map view. And then there's also a head-up display, and it is very well visible. And here then in the screen you have inbuilt Google Maps, so that's pretty cool, also for calculating charging stops and so on. Here there's a nice feature, this is the ambient lighting settings, and it depends then on the planet you pick, which color the ambient lighting goes to. These like the integration right here. When I go to Earth, then it's, for example, also blue. As a Polestar 5 flying through space here. It always gets the same size here, so but it also says the diameter and so on. Hey, your kids can also learn about the diameter of Mars and Jupiter, and it's also the correct row of stars from the distance to the sun, by the way, as well. Interesting, right? Isn't it? The infotainment system itself, it's quick enough, I would say. Climate unit here in the lower part, seat heating. I always, of course, prefer analog dials, of course, physical ones and not digital ones. That's what I want to say. There's a lot to do here. The best thing is that you do some shortcuts. For example, here, that you have the most important shortcuts here, for example, for speed limit deactivation, one pedal driving or not. And this is not the fart mode. It looks like a car fart mode. This is the performance mode, which you can activate or deactivate here. And the big question of the day for you, why is there now a cupboard on top of the vehicle? What the hell? What? So the solution for that is, it's not a cupboard. And if I move the car a little bit, steer to the right, you see, it's supposed to be the back of a truck. So there we go. The truck starts moving in relation to the vehicle. But now the question is, if it's not a cupboard but a truck, where's the truck? This? Is this the truck? Nah, it's supposed to be on the left side. This? Obviously, these two pillars are a truck. Interesting. So we can also extend the map. There we go. Then we have the full screen map. And we are around the Munich area, so south in Bavaria, in Germany. And let's calculate a route to Kiel. So because it's being in north here, like this, like across Germany now. And then you can see here the suggestions for the charging stops. In this case here, 1, 2, 3 charging stops. 39 minutes, 90 minutes, and 39 minutes. That's interesting. So yeah, that is like a really long charging stop then. So, but there you can see here this Google Maps based GPS system is able to do proper then calculation of individual charging stops. Now, what about this rear seating experience? I'm really excited now. Let's start with the rear doors. So here is also nicely covered actually. Then the fabric insert we have here. Good quality also of the buttons. This is the door release manual. And here, well, this is rather hard-packed in the inside. Harman Kardon sound system, another speaker here. And you can see also here the frameless door. Doesn't feel like dual insulation though. And then check it out, we have the glass roof. This one is, however, completely fixed. And let me tell you, from just being returned to a record heat in Los Angeles and Palm Springs, where we had like 40, at one day 50 degrees Celsius, like 124 degrees Fahrenheit. And we also had the vehicle with a panoramic glass roof, which we could shut with a menu shade at least, but still was super hot. This here is a very bad idea if it's just super hot. And it also counts for the Tesla Model 3 and the Tesla Model Y, of course. Why people in Texas, for example, or in Arizona, actually foil their Tesla, so wrap it from the outside against this fixed glass roof. I don't know where this idea is coming from. This is not a Polestar thing. It's general for so many manufacturers here at the moment. I'm almost a fan of just put fixed roofs or drive a convertible. Or if you put a glass roof, then make one to open, that the heat can escape or that you can at least use it somehow. Then there are these solutions with electrochrome function, for example. This is also available for the Polestar 4 as an option here. So this is, I would urge you to go for that. It's not available yet. So at this moment, this is here the standard. It's not available yet with the electrochrome function. It will come later. So I would actually wait for this option to be available because you will need it in hot days. It gets hot here in the inside really, really quickly. Again, not a Polestar problem for all vehicles. So they need some kind of shade function, be it electrochrome or a hardware shade or something like that. But now to this experience, well, when we look to the rear, yeah, that is the thing then with no rear window. I mean, it looks cool in a way. It looks like a cocoon. It feels like a cocoon, but it doesn't really affect it in a way, you know. Yeah, you have the glass roof here, then you have the black area here, but what would that mean to me? Honestly, I still don't get why I didn't put the rear window. So I don't get the idea, I don't get the concept. The headroom here with 189, 6'2", I mean, you have some headroom here, but I would still have it if they had the rear window, right? So even if it just would be a tiny one, I think it's just like a show effect or something. Also interesting, the Polestar 2, we have just been shuttled here to this occasion with the Polestar 2 and sitting in the rear. And honestly, it was not a good experience. Here, it's way more comfortable than the Polestar 2. And the main reason is there's, you know, like the inclination is different. So you lean a little bit more backward. It's a more relaxed position here. So yeah, this works. This, you know, lounge, relaxed atmosphere does work actually. That's actually quite cool. And then here the legroom, still okay, I would say. This is the seat as I'm driving. Not the best use of space considering the length maybe, but there are also competitors that also score like a similar result. And then we also use this EV platform here almost, it's not a completely flat floor, just a small hump right here, but I think that's okay. 2 USB-C chargers we also find here, for example. And then there's also a separate climate unit here, for example, for the rear, and you can even get a 3-level seat heating then. By the way, the floor mats here, you can also see mono material, 100% PET. Why is it also important that it's mono material? First of all, 100% PET, so this is all from recycled plastic bottles. And then mono material is also important to process the material also later on. So this is like the best solution. You take recycled material and then you make 100% pure material that you can also recycle it later on again. Sometimes in recycling or in sustainability in the car industry, it can sometimes make more sense to not go recycling, but make 100% mono material that then can be processed later on once again in a couple of years, or if the car goes to trash at some point, instead of going recycling and mixing materials which can never be dissolved again. So this is always, you know, playing with pros and cons. In this case here, 100% recycling plus mono material, good solution. It's just a floor mat detail, but hey, their sustainability approach is pretty cool. That's something you really have to applaud them for. But here the rear experience, I think it's pretty cool. Yes, interesting also that the seat here, you could see the isofix in the lower part right here, and this part is really pronounced and it kind of serves like a inbuilt lumbar support. And to me, that's not a good thing because I don't like lumbar support in seats. If you like special lumbar supports in seats, then you will also like that. Yeah, so overall, I think a better result than in the Polestar 2, but not a superb result overall for rear seating comfort. And it's definitely not worth it to just get rid of the rear window for that. Doesn't make sense as for the experience, I feel. This one here, by the way, you
Hey, not in front of the camera.
sorry for that. Yeah, the meal has been very delicious. Yeah. Here, another cool feature, you can actually, here, electronically with the Plus package, so this, sorry, this is like an option, and they can also change the inclination here, 2/3, 1/3 split, so there we go, and I can also do that for my side. So that's a nice luxury feature we usually don't have in this segment here. And then in the very front, there are some cup holders. So yes, definitely, I mean, what is clearly the case is that they have some fresh ideas and that they...
Not again.
Yeah, maybe sometimes, you know, we usually test the very early vehicles, the pre-production vehicles. Maybe this will be better at some point for the final production vehicle, but yeah, I think they could have left a little bit more space for there. The quality of the materials, by the way, of the seats, be it the high grade or the red, and also this fabric surface here, that one is, by the way, very, very good also here in the rear. So first of all, you start searching, and then where is that? You know, there's actually a black button we can press. There we go. We have here 530 liters or almost 18 cubic feet, and you ask yourself, and me too, where are those 530 liters? Because it is tiny, at least from the first look. But let's take a deeper look here. The cool thing is that it's actually really wide. Look at that. This is 1.40 meters. And look at that, how much longer it is, like more than 110 or 43 inches. So really good in the width. The length is also quite cool. It's, almost 1.40 meters, so that's fine. And the height here at the highest point is 55 centimeters or 21 inches. But then it's really shallow right here. Here, this cabin trolley also fits in vertically, and underneath here, oh, yeah, that's maybe not the best idea. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, sometimes I gotta work on my trunk workout a little bit better. So there we go. Because what I want to show you, yeah, that's the thing. Usually you can lift that one, but here it's like a fixed one, and then you can either put it up like this. There's more space here. This is also where more liter figure comes from. That's actually very nice to use. And then you can also put this whole thing down here in this lower segment. There we go. And then you have even more height. So this is also where the liter figure actually does come from. And then, yeah, you remember there's no rear window, but what is this? I mean, we know this, where it's just placed right here as a trunk cover, but this looks like someone just put it in reverse and it looks kind of off. But the reason behind it is that you pull this here. It's a little bit strange, the mechanism. Then you can have this one just hanging down there, but I wonder if maybe while driving it does like this or something when you brake or when you accelerate. And then you can actually look through, but not through the window, just when the trunk is open. And what would be a use case for that? Maybe when there is a small dog here and then the dog can look over here. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, and of course here then you can get the access to the rear seats and you can directly fold them. So this is then probably the main reason. You can also take out that whole thing. Here, that's what I wanted to tell you. Usually it should look like this, right? But yeah. When I see, yeah, it just messes with your brain, doesn't it? Yeah, and this is then the full luggage setup. So there is then actually more space than you might imagine. Full length is 1.85 meters or almost 73 inches. So in length is also actually quite good to use. However, I found a cool feature also here. Look at that, the Polestar logo imprinted here in the lower part of this hatch. And yeah, this is another thing that looks unfamiliar because you would expect the rear window there, where there is none. Performance test. Plop. Oh, see here the activity key came towards us because of the acceleration, although it was hidden deep down there. So this was 20 to 100 kilometers an hour and was even uphill. So really good performance here from that performance model of the Polestar 4. And we have good steering reaction here, feels really nice here when doing some lane change and so on. 22-inch wheels gives me good feeling of the road. Can be rough in potholes and so on. This twin motor version has the adaptive suspension, so we can also change that here. That was the standard feel, and I think it's already rather stiff and sporty. And we can put it to nimble or even to firm. Yeah, sometimes here the reactions from the touchscreen are not ideal. And here in firm, let's see here, doing some slalom comparison to standard.
Yeah, you feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel that. So, I mean, still, I feel with the 22-inch wheels combination, the standard setting is totally fine. So I probably would not set it firmer. It's good that we can adjust the steering feel here. So light is when you easily want to park in and out, but I think it feels not that natural. The standard setting, I think, is really cool. That feels really one with the vehicle. Firm is also fine. So I would probably go with standard or firm. That's what I would at least prefer. And you can also Porsche trip,
yeah.
right? A couple of Porsches here, really nice. Then we can change.
911?
These were 911s, yeah. Different colors. Which one was your favorite color? So here in off, one pedal drive, you go off the throttle, you just roll. Low would be then some recuperation, and standard is then when I accelerate and go off the throttle, hard recuperation. That is then a one pedal driving feeling, and you always have to be gentle with that, not to put too much stress then on your passengers, definitely. But it's a good balanced feeling, feels sporty. It doesn't feel SUV-alike, it rather feels like an upgraded Polestar 2, this one here, I really feel. With a little bit more space, more power, a little bit more size, and so on, more price as well, yes. Yeah, it almost, I would rather say it's, to me, more like a new generation of the Polestar 2, honestly. That's especially what I feel when driving this one here now. Yeah, kind of surprised with that a little bit. So with the Polestar 3, you will put down the right stalk column here for the pilot assist, for the assistance systems. Here you activate it in the Polestar 4 with your left thumb, like we also know from other vehicles. And I tend to activate it here on countryside roads because there you can also very well test, for example, if the systems are reliable and very sophisticated and so on. They're meant for the motorway, but here you can really put them to the test if they still work here, and so far so good. Here 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, and you see it is following the road. I'm not steering at the moment, so no intervention on my side, and also no hectic movements and so on. It's pretty cool. Also nice visualization there in the digital instruments, for example. So this is very well done assistance systems wise, so pretty cool. I even feel that might be a little bit better than in the Polestar 3. So how smooth the reaction and so on is from the steering wheel. Yeah, very nice. Noise insulation wise here to 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour is also decent. We will soon also head on to the German Autobahn to test more high speed and see how it reacts there and all the sporty behavior, acceleration, and also as for the wind noise. But to me it's a very good driving feeling overall. Everything fits. I would imagine if you go for the smaller wheels, you would get more comfort. Here, the 22-inch wheels, you have to like them driving-wise. Yes, they look stunning from the exterior, but they definitely do cost you comfort on the interior. And here in the Bavarian landscape, we often have situations like 70 kilometers an hour, and then it goes like to countryside speed, which is 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour. And then you have these intermediate accelerations, like from 70 to 100. Leah is always like, not again.
I'm not ready.
Watch it. Plop, that's it already. Wow. So great performance from this one here, especially in this performance version. Yeah, the single motor will also be enough. Yeah, but still does it very well. You would go back to the, I see it often doesn't react properly. You would go back to the range mode for the best efficiency, because then the front motor is decoupled in many situations. Only you use it when you really need it, actually. And this is of course better efficiency. Then in the performance mode, you would already engage the clutch, that it's ready and you have the full performance. Just, yeah, there we go again, 70 to 100. Maybe Leah needs like a puke bag, something. Watch it. That's again, wow. Yeah, pretty cool. So, and I'm not really missing the sound for that. It's normal, meanwhile, with electric vehicles. You maybe ask yourself, and also me, what about this back mirror? Yeah, you get used to it pretty quickly, and when it's dry, like today, not like today, like in this moment, we have to say, it's perfectly fine, you know. So you have good view to the rear, you get used to it. We already know cars which have this digital back mirror. We also know cars which have digital side mirrors, which I think is a bigger problem than this one, because here you need like an exact three-dimensional image of your surrounding. Here is more like, hey, who's behind me? So I think here it's more okay with the back mirror. Polestar wants to keep that even. Even the new models 5 and 6 that are coming up, they even will not have a rear window. So they want to follow this concept. However, they also now have a CEO changed, and I do believe that the new CEO will change some things, and that the CEO will also look at this project with the back mirror and also say like, what the hell have they been doing? That's what I think, you know. Maybe I can interview the new CEO at some point and ask him for that. Yeah, you know, the CEO also tends to give diplomatic answers, but I can't imagine that this project will be carried through to the next cars that will be then developed actually. Autobahn, high speed. There we go. This is the top speed, 205 kilometers an hour. Whoa, and now it gets really noisy also in here. But the car is still behaving quite well. Suspension maybe now, yeah, maybe you set it to firm. Maybe you set it to, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Even for Leah a problem to set it to firm. Well, yeah, it's, whew. I wouldn't say it's comfortable to drive that quick with this vehicle. But the firm suspension now does a good job to keep it more or less in check.
But it's more silent than the Polestar 3.
It's more silent at high speed than the Polestar 3. That's astonishing. And let's find out, there are good lane change here. Let's find a speed where it's comfortable. Yeah, 150 I think is still fine, something like that. And that's really interesting. With the Polestar 3 recently, we found that it's one of the most silent vehicles up to 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour. But when you really go high speed, you don't feel comfortable anymore. It's getting extremely loud. So yeah, hardly have this finding. But here, this one, the Polestar 4, I feel is a little bit louder at lower speeds, but then more silent at higher speeds than the Polestar 3. Crazy, like strange, but yeah, that's the way it is actually. So yeah, it's unlimited speed here, although the car shows 130, but that's not true here actually in this case. But 130 is a nice traveling speed actually. And yeah, we have such a nice free autobahn for you today, so we can do some lane change action. It feels really nice, good reaction from the vehicle, good from suspension. You feel really one with the vehicle as for all the driving characteristics. As for the user interface, no, because some things to change and control are just too complicated, and also these capacitive BS buttons on the steering wheel has been with a lot of manufacturers recently. You don't feel too connected to the car in that respect, but driving-wise, really good. Yeah, suspension now, when we have some bumps in the road on firm, it's interesting. Yeah, when we have it on the standard setting, you hardly feel them. When we were on the firm setting, like some really small waves, they were like blah, 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 you could feel them. But now in the standard setting, it's evened out, so that's actually better. Yeah, I mean, question was also, can it be compared to the Porsche Macan? I mean, performance in the acceleration-wise was really good. In the driving agility, the Macan is just more precise and better, and as for that respect, I feel. So, yeah, I mean, not sure if people will really consider this as a Macan competitor. It maybe fits size, and size-wise then will be lower in the price and so on. This might be something. And it's also, as I said earlier, a very unique vehicle in many different respects. And yeah, how it drives from all the different factors does the driving very well. Consumption and efficiency. What about the real world range? So first we did like a mixed test and speeds up to 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour. So try to be more maximizing the range. Then we scored some 19 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometers, so some 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Considering this 94 kilowatt hour net battery, this would mean a real range of around 500 kilometers or 300 miles. However, then we also did an Autobahn test, 130 kilometers an hour straight or 80 miles an hour. Then consumption went up a little bit, but not too much actually. So 23 kilowatt hours on 1 kilometer, so roughly 2 miles per kilowatt hour. That would mean like an Autobahn range of around 400 kilometers or 250 miles. Interesting that between the Polestar 4 and the Polestar 3 we've been driving recently, this one here did not exceed the consumption that much when it was going quicker. So this one here more efficient at higher speeds than the Polestar 3. That was the main difference. Entry price for the rear wheel drive version is around 60,000 euros or dollars. And considering that you get this relatively large battery for that, also if you compare the other premium competitors, it's still quite okay. However, then all-wheel drive version and also with more equipment and so on, as it stands here right here, you do exceed the 80,000 euros or dollars. So this is more expensive than 80k, like 84 or something like that roughly. And then of course you start thinking what other competitors might there be. Overall, it is in many respects a pretty nice vehicle here, pretty good EV. Also, for example, you know, when you think about charging efficiency, how it drives and so on, it's all pretty good actually. However, there are also so many things from the control, from the interface, they're just too complicated and kind of overdone, I feel. And also that rear concept with the no rear window, I think there's no real benefit you have from that. Yes, it is more unique, but I fear that, although I really like the Polestar brand and also especially their access to sustainability and so on, yes, they still offer optional animal skin. They can also get rid of that, I think. Then it would be more consistent. But other than that, a lot of things they do very well. But I think here with this vehicle here, they have kind of overdone it in a way. I think for many people, this will be too unique, you know what I mean? And that's why I think it could be a problem to get enough sales to keep it alive. With the Polestar 3, this will rather be not a problem. I think this can sell quite well. But this one here, I do see a problem for the brand itself. It will find some customers that especially appreciate that uniqueness, but I don't see a wide success in sales for this very vehicle. Or what's your opinion about that? And now you can tune in to more Polestar reviews like the Polestar 3 or the Polestar 2.